It may come as no surprise that across the globe, there are criminal organizations that lurk in the shadows, helming illegal activities that rake in more money in a year than most of us will see in a lifetime. In fact, one organization in particular reportedly brings in $80 billion annually. That's the equivalent of bringing in just one Mark Zuckerberg's net worth every year. So, just who are these crime lords? And how do they make all that money? Well, get ready, because today we are exploring the seedy underworld of Japan's Yamaguchi-gumi Yakuza, arguably the most wealthy mafia group on the planet. So, just what do we know about Japanese organized crime groups? Well, right off the bat, we can tell you that they are known as the Yakuza. When you hear Yakuza, think mafia. There are actually many different crime groups within the country, and they date back to the 1870s, when Izuku Tetsukai in Kyoto was formed. According to the National Police Agency, there are an estimated 21 different organized crime groups in Japan, with a total of 53,000 members. Many of these groups started as gambling rings, but after World War II, the Yakuza started to dabble in black market trading, the entertainment industry, and eventually real estate construction, extortion, and fraud. They even started to gain a foothold in politics, a hold they still have to this day. The largest crime groups are the Inagawa Kai with 6,600 members, the Sumiyoshi Kai with 8,500 members, and the largest group of them all, which also happens to be the subject of today's video, the Yamaguchi-gumi, at a staggering 23,400 members. That's almost half of all the known members of all the organized crime groups in Japan. Yeah, this Yakuza is a force to be reckoned with, but here's a fact that may surprise you. Not all of the Yakuza's activities are illegal. In fact, the third-generation leader of the Yamaguchi-gumi, named Kazuo Taoka, famously told his members to, quote, have a real job. Sure, the majority of their income and wealth comes from illegal activities, but by running legitimate businesses, the Yakuza confidently claim that they are humanitarian groups that keep order within their country. Believe it or not, they have offices, fan-made magazines, comics and books detailing all their doings, and even business cards. Imagine getting a business card from a member of the mafia. We don't know about you, but we'd be at a bit of a loss for words. The other calling card of the Yakuza? That would be their extensive body tattoos. Now, we will say that this practice has started to fall out of favor with younger generations of Yakuza members, mainly due to the fact that, well, if your body is covered in tattoos, the cops would be able to identify you instantly. But these traditional tattoos were once seen as an initiation practice and acted as a physical marker that the person with them had abandoned a normal lifestyle. A permanent reminder that they had turned their back on society. Members will usually have their organization's emblem tattooed on their chest, which, as you can imagine, makes it mighty difficult to change organizations. Oh, and these pieces of body art are also a status symbol, proving that the Yakuza member had money to spend. After all, a medium-sized tattoo or portrait costs an average of $450. And that doesn't even include the $150 it costs to hire the artist. When you have your whole body covered, expect to pay around $60,000 or more. And that's not even thinking about the cost of getting them removed. Which brings us to their absurd amount of wealth. As we stated before, the Yamaguchi-gumi brings in $80 billion annually. To put that in perspective, American investor Warren Buffett is worth $80 billion himself. So they bring in the equivalent of Warren Buffett's net worth every year. So how are they doing this? Well, the Yakuza have their hands in many different pots, so to say. Yes, smuggling and extortion account for some of their income, but arguably their biggest moneymaker comes from the Japanese entertainment industry, which comprises about 5% of the GDP of Japan. That's $400 billion per year. In fact, the Yakuza are thought to be funding one of Japan's top teen girl groups, although none of the girl group's management have confirmed this. We wonder why. But their power within the industry runs deep, and when Ikumi Yoshimatsu, the first Japanese woman to win the Miss International title, refused to work for any talent agency that had connections to the mafia, she was ostracized from the Japanese entertainment world. And in 2017, 10 comedians that were working with the Yoshimoto Kogyo talent agency found that they were caught up in a massive insurance fraud scheme. A scheme that gave them free massages, apparently, and also brought in over $1 million. But the Yakuza also have a large hand in the construction business, and in 2013, members were arrested for meddling with the cleanup of the radiation from the Fukushima disaster, a cleanup estimated to cost $202.5 billion by providing illegal workers. The stock market is also heavily influenced by this notorious crime group. They are known for seeing stocks as a sort of casino, a metaphorical callback to their early beginnings in gambling rings. And they will use any means necessary to gain insider information that could net them millions. In fact, they are known to use the Japanese hospitality industry, which employs men and women as escorts, to collect any information they can that could be used to blackmail CEOs, politicians, and bureaucrats, all in the name of profit. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. Having a hold in politics means huge profits for the Yakuza. In fact, as documented in the book, Yakuza, Japan's Criminal Underworld by David E. Kaplan and Alec Dubrow, Yoshio Kodama financed the Liberal Democratic Party in its early years. And the Minister of Education in Japan is known to have accepted some rather lucrative donations from the Yakuza. After denying it for years, he finally admitted to receiving a 180,000 yen lump sum from the crime group, while denying any other illegal activities. You can bet that the Yakuza are putting the politicians that benefit their needs in power. Even Eriko Yamatani, head of the Public Safety Commission, who oversees the National Police Agency, took photos with members of the Yakuza, later claiming that she had no idea the people she was posing with were connected in any way to the crime groups. To this day, turmoil still seems to surround the Yakuza in Japan. A few years ago, a split in the Yamaguchi-gumi group caused tensions to rise, and many predicted gang wars throughout the country. One of the main things keeping casualties low is that crime bosses can be sued for damages that their group members commit. In 2012, former crime boss Goto Tadamasa paid $1.4 million to the family of a real estate agent that his men, took care of, so to speak. Well, the mafia may be nowhere near the heights it experienced in the 1980s, but it seems that around the globe, there are still illegal crime organizations pulling the strings and making loads of cash. And in Japan, the Yamaguchi-gumi Yakuza is one such organization, alive and well and very much active. From their ties to the entertainment industry to smuggling illegal substances, they seem to have a hand in many of Japan's business ventures. And it doesn't look like they are going anywhere anytime soon.